Hey, and welcome to AltTabMe.com, the community that outlasts the release dates, Wildstar Podcasts. So today we're going to talk about paths. What are paths, Bruce?
Oh boy, paths are they're almost like the side missions that you get for the leveling system. In a traditional MMO, you get quests, and that's your main source of leveling. You quest all the way up to whatever, you do dungeons, yada yada yada, you level up to cap. Well, paths, this is taking the questing system and evolving it a little bit farther. Every time you make a character, you're going to choose one of four paths. You're either going to choose the explorer, the settler, the scientist, or the soldier. And what this does, this unlocks a specific set of content for your specific style of play that you want to do while leveling. Now, each of these systems are going to account for anywhere between 25 and 30% of your leveling experience if you stay focused on doing these paths while you quest. And each of these paths are going to intermingle with another. You're going to not get locked into just your path, but you're going to be able to help out with other people's paths that you're grouped up with. So even though you may choose the explorer, you may be able to do part of the scientist path if you're grouped up with a scientist and they do something cool and that you want to be a part of. So that's the quick overview of what paths are going to be.
Nice. So you've got the settler, you've got the explorer, you've got the soldier, and you've got the
Scientist.
Sorry. I forgot to tell you, everybody. We are literally going 30 minutes only. We don't want to go over that. So the minute 30 minutes is done, I'm gonna wrap it up, and then you can head on over to AltTabMe.com to continue the conversation. But we'll cover that at the end. I just wanted to say that now. So let's. Why don't we go in order here? You know what? Let's not go in order. Bruce over there is like about to have a conniption fit. Why don't we go ahead and talk about the
Scientist.
There we
Hey. Oh boy, this is anyone out there that needs to do every single bit of a game. This is the exact path for you. This is for the achievement whore. This is for the lore hounds. This is for the problem puzzle solvers.
Whore being the key word.
Yes, this is for all the whores out there, including myself. This is the path that you're going to want to go to. You're literally going to come across these little sections on the map that are scientist specific, and you're going to unlock all these little puzzles. And they're not like a puzzle that you'll go onto a Wikipedia and you'll just automatically solve. No, they're actually going to change constantly. They're going to have some form of random number generation system, so it's not the same puzzle every single time you see these. And these are in the open world. These are actually pretty expansive. And when you solve these puzzles, you're going to be unlocked with some experience on your path, so your path level increases. You're also going to be given some tidbit information on the lore of Planet Nexus. You're also going to have a robot companion. This is awesome. This little guy is going to go exactly where you want it to go, and it's going to research this little area, and you get to name it stuff, and you get to combat with it. And I'm gonna name mine Boopers.
What?
I'm sorry. I was really sad you guys made fun of me for so long on our last podcast of having a pig named Wiggly Boop. Well, no, I'm gonna have my little robot be Boopers, the reincarnation of Wiggly Boop.
Oh God.
I've already got it all figured out. I got it all figured out.
Okay.
So.
And back onto the scientist.
So when you send out little boopers to your little information node, this little cube, it's going to take the boring part of research out for you. It's literally, you're going to send it off to do this little gathering almost, so to speak, for information. And it's going to come back to you with, oh, this is such and such. Cool. You go off and do your thing. Sometimes when you go to research this little information node, a mob may actually come out of it. You may go research a plant or an insect, and all of a sudden, you know, the insect's hive mother, hive queen comes out, and you have to do this epic battle of whatever against this bee that's now attacking you. And then when you beat it, you get this little bit of lore of what this species actually was. So it's a little bit of extra information that you wouldn't normally get through normal play. You know, a settler goes by, oh look, a big bee, I kill it, I got some loot. The scientist goes, kills this bee, and you get a little bit of information back on where did this come from, why is it there, maybe it has an item on it that, you know, helps with some kind of profession or something. You're just going to get that little extra snippet more than another person would. So it's definitely something that I really want to get into. I'm not a lore guy, but you know what? I want to know everything nonetheless. So
No, I think that's the perfect profession for you. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Bruce has always been our achievement. He must get all achievements. We even added an achievement system to AltTabMe.com because of him. Seriously, like no joke. You go there, you can get achievements for stuff, and he has almost all of them. Yeah,
Or
he is definitely an achievement whore. But so something cool that I heard the other day actually is that if you haven't picked your path, so like when you're creating a character, you pick your path. And unlike, like a fluff story, something or other, this actually stays with you throughout the game. And let's say that Bruce picked a scientist and I didn't. Let's say I picked a soldier or something different. I will not see Bruce's nodes or pop-ups on my minimap, which is good. So I won't get distracted and I won't be like, hey, why can't I do that? But if I'm grouped up with Bruce, I can join him in any of his scientific adventures. Which might be really boring because he'll get the achievement and I won't. I actually don't know how that works. I don't know if you get like the achievement too. I'm assuming you would.
We don't know almost anything about achievements. That's gonna be something for a later day. Let's not even
Yeah.
get into that yet.
there's I don't know whether it's been confirmed or not, but I think you get path XP that goes towards your path that you have, even though you're helping Bruce with his scientific achievement horse stuff.
Nice.
Yes.
And
Well,
if
see,
you're
that's
helping
great.
him, he gets path XP for stuff you do on his path.
Yeah.
So
Great.
everyone gets shared a bonus experience for helping each other out.
Which
so.
is this is one
everybody
of those.
wins.
Yeah, one of these. This is like the one thing that Guild Wars 2 brought to the MMO sphere that is very important. I think is the idea that you don't have to fight over, nodes or loot or XP or stuff like that. Like I like the idea of fighting a little bit over stuff, but at the same time, I would rather everybody working together that when you're on a quest and you don't have to worry about it as much. Obviously competition is good, but too much competition is annoying. So
There's also on what you said is where you can share if someone's in your party and you can share their path even if you're not in the same path as them. There's been hints and kind of half confirmed rumors that some things are only accessible if you have a group that has people with 2 or 3 different paths in them. So like you may need the explorer to get you to a place where a soldier sets up his thing and then you do the soldier stuff, and you can't do it unless you have both of them together and you're working together.
cooperation in an MMO? Never. No, that's really cool. That's really cool. All right, so let's move on to the next path. John, what path would you like to speak about?
I don't know, because I know Mike wanted to talk about Explorer as well, but that's the path I was going to be picking. So maybe both of us can.
Maybe you can
Uh-oh.
both talk about it.
Yeah. The Explorer path basically is for those people who like to enjoy the world, and for all those people who have been sitting there in every game going, how do I get over that mountaintop, and how can I get where I'm not supposed to go, and what secrets are behind it? That's basically what the Explorer path is. So far we've seen, I guess, jumping puzzles, we've seen tunnel networks, etc., treasure and everything that you can explore as long as you're an explorer, that are only accessible to you, and that you can only access, basically, unless somebody else is in your group.
I think something that's really cool about all paths, that it's just a generalization. I'll let you get back to the specifics in a second, but a generalization about all the paths is that you are picking this in the beginning of the game, and they've released the 4 paths, all of them that are out there. And the really cool thing is that it's an additional layer to your gameplay that caters to the type of gameplay you would be doing anyway. So, for instance, Bruce would be going after the achievements, so he's a scientist. Or he likes the lore, so he's a scientist, and he gets more information about that stuff. John loves to do jumping puzzles. John loves to explore, likes to push the boundaries of the game. So he picks the explorer. This is really awesome. So it's not like you have to go out of your way to fulfill these paths. These paths are going to come across where you are because of your gameplay style. Anyway, Mike, go ahead with the explorer.
Well, John hit on most of it there. One of the cool things I saw in Explorer was that there are areas that you can only get to if you're an explorer. A lot of them that they're showing now is you find this node and you open it up and it's this hole in the ground and you jump down into a tunnel, and not only do you have all the normal stuff that you have in there, killing monsters, doing quests, whatever, it's almost a fast travel system to other parts of the map. So once you unlock that, now you have a tunnel that gets you across the other side of the map quicker than if you could just run it.
And your
I don't know
friends
what they're
can go
gonna...
with you.
Yes,
Yep.
and you can take anybody in your party with you. And like one of the examples they showed of the joint grouping was they had a explorer and a scientist, and the explorer took the scientist down into the tunnel where the scientist found one of their nodes and unlocked a little hidden room that had information and like loot chests or something. They also said there's going to be scavenger hunts, and so you could be on your own. You have this little side quest where it says go find this, then go to this, and then so you've got your own little extra paths. And one of the other things that I noticed about it is they have regular run and sprint mechanics in the game, and then they have a jump and a double jump mechanics in the game, and they have a lot of jumping puzzles for the explorer. And they've said that you're going to need to be able to utilize both sprint and double jump to get through some of this harder content and get to some of the areas that only the explorer can really not access, because you could probably do it if you've got others, but you can only utilize it really if you're an explorer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's really cool. I think it's really nice that they're implementing a different, a difficulty scale for these things, so that you're challenged with your paths, and it's not just oh, I killed 20 mobs, and oh look, I just happened to do some of my path. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I just killed these fucking things, and oh shit, I fell through a hole. Oh fuck, there's stuff down here. I need a scientist to open this door. Damn it! You know what I mean?
That's an awesome thing, is that not only does everybody win when you're in a group, but the paths also complement each other. Like Mike said, they found that door that they needed a scientist to open. They weren't going to get through. That thing was just going to sit there. And they've also hinted at, for example, the explorer being able to track beasts and stuff, just through some of their, I guess, abilities and whatnot. But when you find that beast, who you're going to need to scan it and find out more about it, you're going to need a scientist, basically, before you kill it, I guess, obviously, so you get fat loots. But, it all overlaps, which is really, really cool.
Or if you find one and you want to kill a bunch of them, get a soldier and he'll plonk down a thing, and 60 million waves will come attack
Hold
you.
out, yeah.
Yeah. So why don't we jump into soldiers? So the soldier class is that's for the people that like to kill shit. They are just bam, let's just annihilate everything in our path, demolition, conquer, hold out, that kind of stuff is what the soldier has. So one of the main features of a soldier that's been shown to us is that they can go to a node and they can like call down a beacon or something. And that beacon is it's gathering information, or it's mining for something, and you have to defend it from waves of mobs coming at you over and over. Which reminds me of the game Firefall. If you ever played Firefall or the beta, I don't even know, did that game ever release?
I think it's officially open beta. I think that's what Firefall is
Soft
right
launch.
now.
Well,
yeah, it's a soft launch open beta. Anyways.
So if you've ever played it, it's basically these big thumping things come down and it rattles the ground. That was terrible. And it rattles the ground. Anyway, that's better. That's even worse.
Not much.
Whatever. It rattles the ground, and so you have it attracts all the monsters. So this is kind of the same idea. And so you are in this circle, and you have to defend this circle from the monsters. And it gets harder and harder after wave. And depending on how many people are there or how many people in your party, it increases the difficulty. And so for people that are, they're running around and they want to do more battle, they want to fight more monsters, this is the way to be. Some of the things that some of the mission types that they have, and I'm reading this off of their website, they have the assassination. So you can actually track down targets and put a hit on them. Like you'll get a quest that has a hit on a guy, which is so cool. Demolition, blow shit up. Basically, if you like to blow shit up, this is the path for you. They have SWAT, which means you get advanced military hardware to battle your foe, which I'm assuming is like Guild Wars 2.
Environmental weapons.
Environmental weapons. So you get an environmental weapons with new skill bars, and you get to go test this stuff out for that mission. Then you have the holdout that we talked about. There's also a holdout security where I believe that's more of like a pathing thing, so you're escorting. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that one. And then you have rescue stuff where you can, you get a quest and you're like, this guy is in trouble. You got to get in there and help him. And so you go and you have to go into hostile enemy territory, and you have to basically go rescue Private Ryan. Hopefully you are not, what's his name from
Tom
Rescue
Hanks.
Yeah, hopefully you're not Tom Hanks, because you won't get any XP for that.
Yeah.
And just a quick note to add another footnote on there. They have actually announced that the soldiers will be able to almost summon world bosses. They'll be able to summon these large creatures. It's not just necessarily wave upon wave upon wave, but there's going to be big, badass motherfucking bosses that you're going to need other people for. They've already talked about this before with general world bosses, but these are going to be soldier specific, where you're going to require a soldier to do something in order to make these bosses activate. And some of the ones that they've shown so far, just in quick little blips, look fucking awesome and badass.
Yeah.
Like I always want a soldier in my party just in case we come across these.
Well, it's interesting because the more we run across screenshots of the game, at first glance you look at it and you go, wait, is this like World of Warcraft graphics? But then these screenshots that have been coming out, the environments and stuff like that, they have more. It's not World of Warcraft in the terms of age. So some of the graphics are aged a bit. You know what I mean? Like it started in what, 2000?
The better part of a decade it's been out. So.
2004, I think it came out.
Yeah.
And so you look at the graphics and you're like, oh, well, these are similar. But the only similar thing really is the color scheme. It's got those vibrant popping colors and it's got all that stuff. But the game itself is really detailed, and the characters are so stylized that the stylized bits of them are very graphic intense, and it's really cool. So it has that WoW feeling in color, but it doesn't have that WoW feeling in the way that it looks, in the way that it's in the detail of it. So sorry, random tangent. Blah, blah. No, I like graphics. Leave me alone. So, okay. So then we've got the fourth path. By the way, all these paths were just announced. Like they just released everything, the final path, a couple days ago. So we're still kind of getting a grasp on it. And obviously there isn't too much gameplay out there that shows it all. You have your dev speaks and stuff like that, but we're just kind of going off of the information that we have. So if we fuck something up or anything, feel free to correct us at AltTabMe.com. Or in the comment section below. I don't know. I don't know. I always feel like an idiot doing that. Comment section below. Whatever.
Anyways.
So you've got the last one, which is the Settler.
So we got the Settler here, and it was announced, but this is the first time we've gotten a lot of detail on it. And people are like, oh, the Settler, that's kind of cool. They're talking about how it's the social path. And at first everyone's like, oh, so what do you do? Just kind of talk to each other? Or do you just kind of hang out?
I cast magic missile into the darkness. Are there girls there?
We got D&D on
I put
Sunday.
on my wizard hat and robe.
Roll to see if I'm getting
Stop
drunk.
it. That's a completely different podcast, guys.
Oh, yeah.
you can come check that out on Tig's channel another time.
Yeah.
Anyways.
It's true. We do D&D sessions, just in case you're
right.
interested.
Anyway, so let's get back to the Settler.
Sorry.
So what the Settler does, in a lot of these areas in the world, there's going to be a lot of Settler development sites. There's going to be a lot of places where the settlers can actually build into the world. It's not like an instance area where it's like, oh, I'm building in some God knows where it doesn't affect anything or no one cares about it. No, you're actually building. Say there's like a town that's generally a quest hub and it's just a bunch of huts everywhere. You may actually have a settler part of it where you're actually tagging onto these little huts, and you may actually be enabling extra quests. You may be enabling teleportation hubs so you can actually motorbike to the next place, which is awesome, by the way. You may actually have these little areas that actually build upon itself. A lot of people are talking like, oh, well, that's cool, but what if someone does all of it and then goes away? Well, a lot of this stuff will actually may even be attacked by mobs and get demolished over time. They may only have so many uses before they get destroyed. They may only be able to access during, if so many people have come through or so much time. So it's not you build it once and it's there forever. It's this thing that actually needs to be constantly upgraded, constantly done. And you can actually get settler experience from people that aren't settlers to actually using these benefits, doing these quests, using this vendor. And one of the cool things that you can do that isn't necessarily in these parts is you can actually build a campfire, and all the people that use this campfire may get a small buff that's specific to their class or specific to the zone or something of that sort. But every time anyone else uses your campfire, you're also getting settler XP. So you want to have these small communities coming together and helping the settler, not only because everyone that using this is getting the benefit for doing it, obviously, but you're also helping the settler and being able to do bigger and better things. So they really hit it dead on when saying that the settler is the community social path. You're always going to want people to use your stuff that you're building or using, and you want to be there to actually support the people that are there. It's a give and take for everyone, and they're doing such a great job from what I've seen.
I think something that's important to note is that all of these paths, and the settler, they really talked about it specifically, was that Wildstar is trying to not make it so that you have to leave the game to figure out stuff, which is so awesome. How many times have you been in an MMO? I don't care what MMO it's been, but how many times have you been in an MMO and you look at something and you're like, I have no idea what this is. I have no idea how to do this. I need to look up a guide online. You go online, it says do X, do Y, do Z, and you get, 1, 2, 3. So what they're doing is they're making it so that these paths are generated randomly. There's a lot of different aspects to it. So like with the settler, if you have a campfire and you want to place down a campfire to help people gain what is it, like rested XP, or
it's like bonus buffs kind of stuff.
So it's bonus buffs. So if you want to find a place where it's really good to put that down so that you get experience for it, you're going to need to travel the world. You're going to have to explore and see where people hang out. And it's not like you can just go to a main town, pop down a fire pit. It's not going to last long enough. You need to find out where people are traversing in the world, I hope.
Yes. That's
Note to developers, please make it so that you can't just plop these things down in town. Because the idea is that it gets you out of the towns. It gets you into the world. It puts you in danger if you're on a PvP server. It makes you have to work together. And so it's really nice that they're going away from the idea that, for instance, like the old Nintendo games, they had guidebooks that you could buy, these big magazines. I remember I had billions of these things. And they didn't tell you how to beat monsters or how to beat bosses. They gave you suggestions on how you could get from point A to point B to point C, or from A to C. You know what I mean? It was an all-encompassing thing. And that's where Wildstar is really pushing that idea that they don't want you to look online and bam, there's your answer. They want you to explore the world through your own path. So like I said, with the settler, finding the proper place for a fireplace, maybe with the soldier, finding the coolest place to drop down where a big boss comes out or something like that, or how to maximize, your experience with your friends, or how to group up with a settler and a scientist and an explorer and the other one. What is it?
Soldier.
Soldier. Sorry. I thought I said soldier. That's why. Anyway, so how to group up with those and how to maximize your exploration. They showed tiered entrances that really need everybody to work together. And they're not always the same. So you're not always going to go to to this point on the map and it's going to be like that. So I think that's really cool. Sorry, to go back to the settler for a second. I think what you were trying to say is, and they call it expansion. So basically you're going to these town hubs that might not even be built up. So it could be a town in the middle of a road, or it could literally be a guard tower, and you can help build those things. And other settlers can come with you and work on it together, and those help you to fortify your advancement so that it helps other players when they get there. They're not just swarmed by mobs because now there's a guard tower, and then it also helps to bring people together to build out this world, to make it easier to travel. Like Bruce said, you'll be able to build like a bike station so everybody can get these bikes, and that's really good for your group as well. So you want to get to the next place and you build out this, one of your group mates is a settler and he's like, hey, we could fast travel here. Let's get some bikes, and he builds that out. Or you're an explorer and you have an underground passage, and you know how to get from A to B faster. So there's all these types of like benefits to being in a different path and to be grouping with these different paths.
Yeah, and not only that, with the Explorer, there's a thing that they have on there that's kind of hinted. It's you can go out and claim an area for your faction, and with me reading between the lines there, it kind of says to me, hey, there's this area that's kind of hard to stay in because there's a lot of mobs, or it's real close to the other faction's town or whatever. And if you take an Explorer out there and you claim that area, then with their plug and socket system, is it possible for a settler to come out and start a town out there, or a settlement or something, where he puts down NPCs and he puts down a bonfire and he puts down defenses, and now all of a sudden you've got a place where you guys can retreat to, and you've got guards and you've got defenses, and you can start pushing in on that area, and the settler can combine with the Explorer in that way, where now all of a sudden the Explorer says, okay, this is our area, and we can now use those plug and socket area in that area if the devs have put it in. And this is kind of my, like I said, reading between the lines speculation, but it seems to me like that's a pretty easy go hand in hand, where if they want those two types to work together, it's something they could do there.
Well, it's cool. It also it encourages the battles that World of Warcraft had. That was Torn Mill versus
South Shore.
South Shore. So I mean, but it's nice because I always use this way of describing it. When you build a college campus, and my uncle is a construction worker, an architect, sorry, and when he builds he's helped on a couple college campuses, and in order for them to place down the paths in a college campus, they don't actually do that when they first make the campus. They wait for the kids to walk from A to B, and then they see where the grass is dead. So they literally lay down grass everywhere, and where the grass died, they then put down paths, because that's where people naturally go. Otherwise, you make these paths that don't make any sense. So I see the settler, and what you just explained is something similar to that, where you get this Torn Mill South Shore type thing, but it's helping it, but it's also letting you to, if you don't want to go build it, you don't have to. But if you see a place that is, really contested, or really, this is where everybody fights, you're gonna make sure that you have, cannons. You're gonna have guards. You're gonna build that up. You're gonna bring your friends. You're gonna defend it, and that makes for a great micro game, which is really great.
And they mentioned hospitals can be built on their website as part of the. So if you've got a site that's real close to a battle that you want to fortify, throw down a hospital. People can retreat there and get healed up.
Wow, I didn't hear about that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool. I didn't hear that one either. Wow.
It's under their infrastructure on their website, under the settler.
Well, that's perfect for me, because my name is Triage, so I can just set up a triage camp. So it'll be the triage camp. It'll be crazy. People won't even know what happened. They'll get double healing.
Jeez.
Or double confused.
Yeah. Or double confused. 2-minute warning here. But what's really cool is that there's all these paths. There's like there's so much shit. So there's another layer to add on to it. These paths and the stuff that you get from these paths, the loot, the drops, and stuff like that, can be specific to your housing.
All right. So
Discuss.
Now that you're done, no, I don't. We have 2-minute warning. I need to get my last bit of information out there now.
Oh shit.
I want to let people know that the path system, there's actually a leveling system within the path system. Right now, they've shown about 1 to 30. Every time you level, you get an extra perk or ability to your path. They're showing that there's going to be exclusive mounts specifically for your path. There's going to be specific abilities for your path to do better on your path. Within this alternate questing leveling system, there's also an alternate achievement, benefit, ability, perk system. Oh my god, I'm all excited. Okay, sorry, I had to get that out in there last
Micro Machines. I don't know.
All right, good. I'm good.
Well, the one thing I want to say that I want everybody to remember that the pass system is an augment to the way you normally play the game. They figured out that people play certain ways, and they just wanted to give you a bonus for if you like playing this way, this is the path you choose, and you get more of what you like. And the people that like to kill stuff and don't care about quests and whatever, they go soldier and they just kill more stuff. The people that like to go find the path to the top of that mountain you're not supposed to be on and break the map and get outside of the world, that's the explorer. And like people who like housing and stuff, that's the settler.
John, 5 seconds, anything?
Nothing. Just nothing.
Just nothing.
I got nothing.
Well, anyway, 30 seconds, 30 minutes, 30 seconds. That would be a really fast podcast. Hi, welcome to the... Oh. But anyway, thanks for watching. Once again, this is AltTabMe.com, the community that outlasts the release dates podcast for Wildstar. Come to our website if you heard us talking about something that you want to talk about more, or you'd like us to do a podcast on later on. If you want to hear more detail, more in-depth analysis, hit us up. Go to the forums, sign up. There will be a thread with this podcast and all of our other podcasts for Wildstar as well. So communicate with us. Come, sit down, grab a beer, enjoy, relax, and lurk. Or hey, who knows? Maybe you'll like it there, and maybe you want to join us when we open up our section in Wildstar. So once again, thank you again for watching. This has been our Wildstar podcast from AltTabMe.com, and we will see you next time.